Welcome and good morning. I think we will start because time is running. Hardware is, we are talking about a lot of sustainability issues, and I think Florian just recently in the other room was very harsh on some of the maybe wannabe green signage solutions and where hardware is involved. So the topic of today is with reduce and recycle, one of the prime factors in order to improve your sustainability footprint. What can hardware do in order to influence product life cycles? And with me on this important panel, I have Sebastian Trabold from CHG Meridian, Solution Manager, Bernd Albl from umdasch, Retail Head, and also Christof Böhm from Sharp NEC, and it's not NEC, but it's NEC, as we have learned recently. So, Sebastian, you are seeing the industry a bit from the outside. You're not a classical digital signage provider, but you finance, you deal with financing IT solution in general. What is happening in the market currently in terms of extending hardware lifetime cycles? So I think you have some important input there to make.
Yeah. What is happening on the IT market? What we see in the last years is extending lifecycle is getting more and more important. Not because the customer would like to use the equipment longer, but the second life cycle getting more and more important. So the customers ask, okay, what happened after 2 years using my mobile phone? And we as CG, we take it back, we refurbish it and resell it on the second market. It's quite important to let the customer know, hey, there's a second, maybe a third life cycle. So we use the equipment 2 or 3 times. So your footprint for a first-year customer is reduced. And we see this trend on mostly all assets in the last years.
But what are the preconditions to make it happen?
To make it happen is, let's say, kind of an industry standard. So we, as CG, we're not selling directly to the customer. We're selling to IT houses, service providers, and they have to be sure that the equipment is on a good quality. They have to give warranty on the equipment. So we have to find assets with a industry standard. We have something like that on laptops, like the smart check of a hard drive. We have the same on mobile phones where you can check the battery pretty easy and visual checks. And so this is the minimum standard to make a second life cycle happen.
Good. We will come back to how we can apply these kind of things in the digital signage industry. Christof, you have been advocating for sustainability for many years and also received the Sustainability Award of the Invidis, I think it was 2 years ago. What is your take of the current discussion? What can a manufacturer do in order to extend the lifetime?
Right, thank you. It was last year actually when we received this award. This was very motivating and encouraging for us, not only for us in Europe, but also for our people in the headquarters in R&D and in QA. What is our take from this discussion? This discussion covers a lot of elements. It starts from design of a product to make a design sustainable, long-lasting, selecting the right components, display semiconductors, optical parts, reducing weight, using more rather metal than plastics, which makes it also more sustainable. It's also supporting the design and the cooling. It's about product features that can make a product more sustainable, features that customer can use. We need more education on this end, of course. It's about transportation, how to ship the product from Asia to Europe. Most of the products come from Asia, of course. And it's also about service. We've quite a complex and sustainable service concept with a central management and a decentral service to have short ways. So there are a lot of elements that we need to cover here in all areas. And then later on, we can also discuss about technology, which also makes a difference. There's also a lot of innovation on this side.
But also, when you tell all these features that you add on into your products, it also means it is not a low-cost product. It is a high-cost product. And how does the market accept the opportunity for extending the lifetime versus the cost that is connected to this product? What is your view?
Yeah, that's a very sensitive or very challenging part. You can make a product much more sustainable, much more effective and long-lasting, but you add cost to the product in the end. But we think we are on the right way here to make products more long-lasting. We are known for that. So I think it's worthwhile to go into this direction, especially when it comes to more regulation. Something what we're going to discuss in the next 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So more long-lasting products will support the entire sustainability approach, and I think we're on the right way with our portfolio.
Now, Bernd, you're working in a different environment. You're the leading DACH European shop fitter, and you also have a very high sustainability profile. Everyone who visited your booth on the Euro shop could see that it was sustainable from A to Z. What is your take on this discussion? Are the customers ready to take on extended lifetimes, costs, maybe standards and warranties?
First of all, thanks for having me here, and thanks for the opportunity. Honestly spoken, no. Yes, our Euroshop booth was addressed to the topic of sustainability completely. Why? First of all, because shop fitters are asked that our shop fitting equipment have to last at least 10 years plus in the near future. Currently, we are rebuilding stores every 3, 5, 7 years. And now the question is how we can achieve new business models, new activities that our shops last longer than 10 years. This is very closely connected to my business because we are delivering the hardware, the infrastructure to those stores. So therefore, we are also in the near future faced with this topic. When we were asking the customers on the Euroshop about about green signage, power consumption, honestly spoken, we had no demand from the customers so far. They know that something will come, but they are not faced the problem right now. So what we see more is that existing infrastructure we have to extend in the lifetime. So, for example, digital signage screens up to 7 years, etc. Electronic shelf labels, 10 years plus. Those are the topics we are currently faced, and we are asked from the customers how we can extend the lifetime, how can we do refurbishment during the existing lifetime, but we have no inquiries from no demand from the customers concerning are there refurbished displays on the market available for new concepts. And the reason is, from my point of view, is that we have to rethink about design when we're designing stores. None of our customers currently wants to have used screens in the shop design stream inside. So therefore, and this is a question towards the industry and you probably, how we can, when we are refurbishing hardware components, how can we achieve quality afterwards? How we can achieve warranties afterwards for our customers? So therefore, as long as those questions are not answered, we don't see any demand so far.
Okay. So this leads us to the question of how do we make sure that we get a standardized approach, not only in the PC or mobile phone industry, but in the digital signage industry. What is your view on this one, Sebastian?
First of all, it's our fortune that there's actually no demand yet, but it will come in the next years. We can see it on the classic IT areas where the demand is already there. It will be there in the signage market as well. What we have to do for that one, we have to find a minimum standard. In best case, we have a standard where we can place a sticker like Sharp NEC qualified for refurbishment or refurbished qualified. We've give umdasch the right to say, hey, it gives you two-year more warranty because you fit with this equipment the standards.
But who will provide this standard, this agreed standard? Is it the manufacturer, or is it a combination of the integrator with the manufacturer who's then put a stamp on the hardware, on the device, saying, okay, now it's good for refurbishment? How does this go? How does this work?
Actually, it has come out of the market, so from both. So at the end of the day, the manufacturer has to provide some tools to measure and to fit some indicators, and the integrator has to trust. They never give warranty if they're not trusting the standard. So it's a combination of both, but we have to start now to think about it. What is the standard we have to fit on?
How does the business model work? When maybe you can give an example from the PC market, the residual value that you receive after the contracted lifetime is then turned into the second tier market, giving different opportunities. Can you just shortly elaborate how it works in other sectors?
Yeah, like Christof said, to make it more sustainable, it costs money because you need other parts in the display, for example. And how it works in the other IT sectors, high quality hardware could work more than 2 or 3 years. And we can reduce the cost because we say, hey, dear customer, first year customer, we are able to get a residual value of 20-30% after 2 or 3 years. And you don't have to pay 100%, you pay 70%. Because the other 30% we get from the second market. And that's, okay, it's a long way we have to go. But as soon as we get residual values, we can reduce the cost for the first year customer. That's it.
Good. We talked about also, let's say, Bernd was saying, okay, there's no demand from the customer side, but they also
current.
Yeah.
Right.
But we are in July 2023. The customer is still a bit waiting. But we have countries like France that demand in public tenders refurbishment quota in public tenders of 20 to 30%, depending what kind of documentation we read. How will this affect your business model? Christof.
So in the first place, you can see that as a threat, but in the long run, I see that as an opportunity. To bring to get an advantage from that, actually. Though sometimes we need these regulations which comes from government. It's not standards or regulations that come from the industry. That is set by government. That's legal requirements, maybe. Like in France, it's 20% of products in the public sector should be used products, which are, and Sebastian mentioned it, which are not there at the moment. But this regulation will come throughout Europe, I guess, more and more for public tenders, and it will also be transferred to private, I think, sooner or later. There is now some time to prepare that, and then I think we have two different business model or streams. Customers buying products and use it for many years, and on the other hand, we have financing and leasing models like CHG is offering that, and from this market we can actually work on models together to bring used products back, and then we can do some refurbishment, creating standards together with the industry, and can even add a second-hand warranty on that, which makes a product more attractive in the end. So there is a lot of things to do. There is homework, but I don't see that as a threat. I see that as an opportunity in the long run.
Would this be enough for you as a shop fitter, Bernd, to see, okay, the industry has come up with some kind of standard, and then it makes it possible for you to implement it in your long-time business model?
Definitely. And we have to do the homework before there will be legal restrictions or legal directions which we have to follow. So this would be definitely, it would create trust, it would create also an opportunity for us to think in new ways when it comes to shop design. And I'm very happy and I'm looking forward when something is coming up from the industry towards that direction.
If you have, let's say, a modern shop design, the components, or let's say if you have ordinary shop shelves and the components of digital signage or communication inside a modern shop fitting environment, how has this changed over the years? What is the percentage, let's say, how much do you need to calculate with the screen involved in these environments these days compared to 5 years?
Yes, when we are, usually our business is addressed that we are doing our business together with our colleagues from the shop fitting, with the sales department. And in former days, usually 10% of the turnover of a project was digital. Nowadays, we already see that we have at least 50% shop fitting, 50% digital applications inside the stores. And I'm definitely sure in the near future, the percentage of digital, the volume of digital will become much, much more. Let's take digital electronic shelf labels, for example. Electronic shelf label in store costs the same like the shop fitting. It's just one technology. When it comes to experience centers, which we are building there, when you have LED walls inside, for etc., there we have at least 50-70% of the digital applications inside at the percentage of the total project there. So therefore, it's getting more and more important. And this is how the wave is moving forward.
But this also has an implication on day-to-day operations. If you have a rapidly increased content part of digital equipment, you need also to make sure that you don't face black screens, that the hardware is still working. How do you make sure that this is taken place, or that it works as it was intended on the first day?
First of all, it starts for sure with the concept. When you do the planning with the designers, when the furnitures are designed, how you can do the maintenance, the support, that you have the circulation of the air, etc., etc., etc. Yes, and for sure we have as the other integrators all the same support infrastructure in the back end, on-site services, etc., etc. And yes, we have a very clear focus on training the staff on site to keep those applications running. Because we can't react sometimes as fast at the staff on site at the store or at the centers.
But if you said in the beginning that currently the customer base is not interested in extended lifetime, but still you need to make a trade-off in your way of proposing digital contents to your customers. Let's say if I propose bad hardware, let's say cheap hardware somewhere, I will more or less also incur some maintenance cost, increased maintenance cost further down the road. How do you calculate, or what is your thinking when you go about in these kind of? Will you always go for the Rolls-Royce of the digital signage, or will you say, okay, maybe the Skoda or the whatever might be good enough?
Honestly, currently we are not faced with the problem yet, because most of our customers have existing infrastructure there. So therefore I can't sell them a new hardware because they have existing ones. Most of them, some project we are doing together with Trabi. Some of them have good hardware from the big brands, which are, honestly spoken, working since 7 years, signage applications, and they are not black screens there. Because the homework was done and was proper done at the beginning of the project there when it was designed. When we comes to new hardware, we are currently asked just for lifetimes of around about 5 years. There's no limitation there. They're just asking for the warranties. So therefore, I can't ask that question in detail right now.
It is an upcoming question, even if the customer demands is not there. The regulatory demands will come. When will we see a common solution where manufacturers, integrators are sitting in one table and together with you come up with a standard that then also can make a push in the market? How will this work? What are initial first steps that needs to be taken, Sebastian?
The initial first steps are done years before we met, since years, discussing how we can do that. I think manufacturers like Sharp NEC is right, doing it right, because they think about how we can refurbish, requalify the displays. They already done it, and we work together to find a way to say, okay, maybe this is the benefit of high quality manufacturer, to say, if you take displays of this manufacturer, then it gives you residual value. We can take care after 5 years. It's not going to recycle, it's going to reuse.
So what you're saying is the standard will not be done like in an ISO certified process. It will be done by brands, that you say, okay, these kind of brands are trustworthy, and we will recommend to our vendors a second tier use.
I think there will be some manufacturers working together to say, okay, we would like to take it as an opportunity. We would like to develop a standard, maybe just for my brand or together for 2 or 3 brands. And then there's a push of the market. That's the time now. The market is starting to push us into the direction of green signage, and we'll be getting more and more pushy. So we work together with the manufacturers to show them the opportunity of developing such a standard.
So, Christof, when will we see a roundtable with you, PPDS, Samsung, and LG to solve this problem together with Sebastian?
It's very, very difficult.
You have all the guys here around here in Munich now. It's your opportunity now to pick up your notebook and fix the first date, because in a year from now we will be here, and then we will be hearing from you how the standard will work, and all then the shop fitters of the world will say, "Oh, that's great news for us," or how can we do that? We just not talk, that we also make some action. What is your idea, Christof? How can it be done?
I think we saw the start point already. There is a challenge for us, and the display is therefore, Sebastian always says, digital signage industry is far behind. In other areas like mobile phone or laptops, you have other kind of wear and tear parts like batteries. You can easily check batteries and the condition. It's way more difficult with displays, with panels actually, to check the status of a panel remotely. It's very challenging. What we can do, for instance, with a Naviset software application, we can remotely read out running hours of a display, but we cannot judge how the customer did use the product actually. Was there a long permanent image sticking like that? This is something you cannot read out remotely. But we can, and we discussed that already a while ago, we can pick out select products that have less running hours and bring them through a refurbishment and evaluation process. I think with these regulations, it will be coming up.
A driving force?
That's the driving force. We need to sit together in the industry. I cannot tell you a date right now, maybe tomorrow or in 6 months.
But I will chase you down, so don't worry. So I will call you in a month from now and say whether will have arranged for a meeting with the other guys. So that's, I think,
it's not only on us.
I know, but I think that's I perceive the digital signage industry still as a big family. So there's the advantage of being a big family, that you're rather close and you can meet. If you really want it, then you can really arrange something. So I put my hopes on you. My stakes is on you. So, and no pressure at all. So we have a couple of minutes left. Are there any questions here from the audience? Because hardware is still the most visible artifact of a digital signage installation. So please, David.
Because leasing is good for the manufacturers, but at the end, what's really is where is going the product at the end, really, concretely right now?
After the end of life?
Yeah. Or let's say after the end of leasing.
After the end of leasing. So it's on your table.
Yeah, appreciate for this question, because that's most of the time a myth. What we are doing, we have 2 big technology centers, one there in Germany, one in the Nordics, and we have several partners in different countries, where we take every equipment back. So when we get the end of the lease contract, we take the equipment back, we requalify, refurbish the equipment, and resell B2B. You can see it if you go to any marketplace for standard hardware like mobiles and laptops, especially in Germany. If there's a refurbished HP laptop or any other one, any other brand, it's most likely from us. Yeah. So we resell it to B2B partners, which are specialized on upcycling of this equipment. Yeah. Changing a glass of a mobile phone and sell it for more than they bought it.
For the mobile phone, let's say for mobile phone and computer, it's quite easy because models exist, and you change the battery, you just clean the screen and it's okay. What about 55 inches screen?
This is quite challenging because at the moment, if you get back the screens after 5 years, who would like to buy it? So most of the time we have to make the decision, we recycle. We bring it to recycling because we are not able to resell it with a qualified stamp. And that's what we have to do in the future to get residual values. On ESL, most of the time it happens because it's pretty easy asset. You have to change the battery, you can do a visual check, and we sold it to South Africa. Millions of them, because there is the changing cost of a battery quite low. They change the battery, reuse it. But to make it as a standard, we have to qualify the asset. We have to qualify the display.
Last comment from you, Bernd. When will we see a push from the customer side in order for extended lifetime of hardware? What is your best guess? Summarizing this discussion, where you see there are regulatory demands, there are some environmental demands. What will happen on your side, from the customer side?
First of all, one definitely push would be that we define a standard that is established on the market and accepted on the market, so that we can create trust on the refurbished hardware. And the second thing is that the customer accepts having refurbished hardware in his environment and all those aspects that are around that topic. And as soon as that is established and solved, and I think this will have to be done at least the next 3 years, then we will see much more on the market. We have built the first completely sustainable store with digital signage in Austria, in Bründel. The whole store was built with sustainable material, even not the digital signage applications. So therefore, hopefully in the next future, we will see also those stores with refurbished hardware.
I think this was a very good last opinion here in this round. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas. As I said, I will follow this subject further down, and maybe in a year from now we will be able to present a new standard, and then the customer demands will come along, and I think the sky is blue and everybody will be happy. Thank you so much. And
Appreciate it.